mind me. I'm just packing away the alcohol. Hello and welcome to the Quiet Riot, where we talk film, television, and media. Thank you for joining me. I'm Ainsley, and in today's video we are discussing the second of 6 films featuring the crime-solving duo Nick and Nora Charles and their dog Asta. This film was not based on any particular book by Dashiell Hammett. It's just an extension of the first movie. The director W.S. Van Dyke returns, along with writers Albert Hackett and Francis Goodrich. Hunt Stromberg produced, while Oliver T. March was the cinematographer. Edited by Robert J. Kern, who edited the first film. The music this time around was produced by Herbert Stothart and Edward Ward. Once again, the film was released by MGM and distributed by Loews Inc. My best guess is that this film actually takes place either a year or 2 years from the first film, as it was released in December of 1936 and is set on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So it's quite possibly that while it was released around 2 years apart, it actually takes place a year after. The first film takes place over the Christmas season, while this one takes place over the New Year's season. Made with an estimated budget of $673,000, After the Thin Man made $3,165,000 at the worldwide box office. In this movie, it's like no time has passed for either William Powell or Myrna Loy. They slip back into these characters with such ease, and their chemistry is on point. They are back and better than ever. After their return to San Francisco, Nora's family insists they join them for a formal dinner. Nick is disliked by Nora's Aunt Catherine, who believes that Nick is below Nora's standing. This is mainly due to his immigrant heritage and experience as a flatfoot. They are informed that Nora's cousin, Selma's philandering husband, has been missing for 3 days, and after they see him at a bar, only for him to be shot later that night. This movie, in my personal opinion, ups the stakes when it comes to the comedy, and I can't say so much for the overall mystery because, just like the one before it, this one has a total of 3 murders. It's fun to see Nick deal with Nora's family. He does not come from a wealthy family like her, and so his overall demeanor and the way he acts around them does not fit well with their old money aesthetic. Now, here's the thing. Apparently they don't like him, or at least Catherine does not like him, for his immigrant heritage, and to me that's a bit of a play on and a joke about how at the end of the day, if you're white, you're the immigrant here, and so for her to say anything about William Powell's character is just a bit odd, but straight on point for people just like Aunt Catherine. There are many jokes to both Nick and Nora's uncomfortable feelings towards the family, particularly Nora, because she's probably a bit of a black sheep in her family, and then of course Nick is nowhere like any of her family. He married into wealth, she did not, and apparently being a former detective just does not work for that family. If you enjoyed the first film, you would most likely love this one as well, especially because this is an early role of Jimmy Stewart's, and so if you are a fan of James Stewart and you would like to see more of his work and you've never seen this film, I highly recommend checking it out. I highly recommend checking it out. He does have a pretty big role and a good one to sink his teeth into. And there's definitely some references that I feel may have gone through the rating system and the people who deal with the Hays Code at the time went straight over their head, because this one doesn't pull any punches. It has that same energy and just jokes that were more keen to the pre-code era that the first film was made in, but this one is of course made at the height of the Hays Code in 1936, and all of the other films that have taken place over a course of 11 years also were made under the Hays Code, and we'll see how things continue to progress in the other films, but this one managed to be just as fun and comical as ever, and it's also great to see Asta return. If you are a fan of classic cinema, you will find that there are some appearances by a lot of character actors that were popular at the time, and I spotted one myself. There are a bunch of kids that come up to the car that Nick and Nora are in, and one of the kids is Alan Hoskins, who is most well known for his role as Farina in the Our Gang shorts. I noticed him right away, and at first I was like, I know that kid, and then when I looked it up, I was right. I was 100% right. But other than that, there are many other character actors that you see throughout the movie. Unfortunately, many of them are uncredited, but they're there. You can definitely see that the budget went up this time due to the success of the first film, and this film was a success as well, so they continued to do them. But this film definitely sets up what is going to be happening in the third film, or at least a little bit there. The lieutenant that appeared in the first film returns in the second film for his second and last appearance. As I had mentioned before, Nick and Nora have a very snarky and energetic relationship full of chemistry, and that has not changed a bit since the first film, and it maintains no matter what crazy little code they have to endure. There are many mentions of infidelity in this movie, but the reason why it probably got through was because the act of infidelity is actually condemned, so that seems to be a way in which anyone was able to get away with having this be a part of their narrative. Now, infidelity wasn't something that was always condemned in the films during the pre-code and silent era. I love that there are certain aspects of the first film that continues, and so it's a bit of a tradition, and I'm excited to see if that occurs in the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth film as well. And I have definitely seen the first and second film, but I don't know if I've seen all the rest, so I will be watching them like it's the first time. And I like to go into a lot of movies that I haven't seen in a couple years as if I've never seen them before, and you can, maybe you forgot everything or forgot a lot of it, or maybe there's just some new things that you can learn, or things that went over your head the first time that you've seen them. I thoroughly enjoyed The Thin Man as well as After the Thin Man. They both have a great energy and a fast pace. It doesn't feel like these movies are very long. They're not. It's something that you can watch for a quick little movie night in the beginning of the week, or if you're having a movie marathon. They're very easy to get through, and the comedy is really the strongest part of these movies, though the mystery is interesting as well. And you have the old Agatha Christie thing going on where you round up these suspects at the end, and you have some great comedic moments in those as well, and some sinister things going on too. I love the fun dynamic that exists between William Powell and Myrna Loy as Nick and Nora Charles. They have amazing chemistry, and not only that, them as characters on their own have chemistry with the other people, and the way they cast this film just really brought something extra to the screen. And at this point on, I think I do prefer this one, but at the end of the day, they're both really good films, and if you liked the first one, I think you'll like this one too. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. I would really appreciate it. And if you want to see more from me, subscribe and ring that bell to be notified every single time I post. I will be posting more videos, hopefully 2 a week. That is my goal for the year, or at least through most of the year. And I will be continuing this series where I discuss Thin Man movies, and then I'll be doing a video where I rank them. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.